a country where billion-dollar skyscrapers rise above sprawling slums housing millions, children labor endlessly, and countless people lack access to basic toilets. India reveals a world of stark contrasts, remarkable resilience, and untold stories that will challenge every assumption you hold. Stay with us to discover the truth. Life and survival in India's slums. Over 260 million Indians live in slums marked by severe overcrowding and precarious housing, often constructed from temporary materials. These settlements lack access to safe drinking water, clean sanitation, and proper waste disposal, exacerbating health risks. Slums frequently develop near industrial zones or flood-prone areas, increasing vulnerability to environmental hazards. Residents depend on informal economies like small-scale manufacturing, street vending, and recycling to earn daily wages often below $3. Complex social networks within slums enable resource sharing and community support, facilitating survival in harsh conditions. However, slum dwellers face limited access to healthcare, education, and security, with many suffering preventable diseases due to poor hygiene. The reality of India's red light districts. India's red light areas, among the largest worldwide, sustain intricate economies where thousands of women work in adult entertainment to support extended families, sending remittances to rural homes. Management here resembles a formal business with tiered pricing, security arrangements, and healthcare provision, operating largely outside official oversight. These districts face challenges such as social stigma, workers' health risks, and legal ambiguities due to the gray nature of sex work. Female workers often enter the industry out of economic necessity, navigating complex family obligations and social pressures. While local systems attempt to safeguard workers, formal support remains insufficient. Exit from the industry is difficult due to limited alternative employment and the persistent social ostracism women face. The open toilet crisis and sanitation challenges. More than 600 million Indians lack access to private toilets, resulting in widespread open defecation that contaminates water supplies and accelerates the spread of waterborne diseases like cholera and dysentery. This sanitation crisis disproportionately affects children and women, with females facing heightened risks of harassment and sexual violence while seeking privacy. Cultural habits and deeply ingrained beliefs about hygiene and privacy complicate behavior change even as governments promote large-scale toilet construction. Sanitation infrastructure gaps, including unreliable water supply and poor maintenance, lead to many government toilets falling into disrepair. To cope, communities organize informal schedules and designated spots for open defecation, showing localized adaptations. The dowry system and its deadly consequences. The dowry tradition in India imposes enormous financial pressures on brides' families, demanding payments in cash, vehicles, and consumer electronics that often exceed annual incomes. These demands rise with increasing consumerism and the groom's social standing. Failure to meet dowry expectations frequently triggers harassment, domestic violence, and, in extreme cases, fatal attacks on brides, sometimes disguised as accidents such as kitchen fires. The practice commodifies women, measuring their worth by dowry rather than personal attributes. The legal system struggles to prosecute dowry-related violence due to lack of evidence and social reluctance to confront family abuses. Many families incur crippling debt or sell assets to satisfy dowry demands, sometimes across generations. Although some education and urbanization efforts try to reduce dowry prevalence, the practice remains entrenched across social classes, including among educated families where brides' earning potential often inflates dowry prices. Child labor in factories and farms. Child labor remains a persistent issue in India, especially in the agriculture and manufacturing sectors. Farms employ over 60% of child workers, exposing them to hazardous pesticides, extreme weather, and dangerous equipment. In factories, children work 12 to 16-hour shifts in textile, carpet, and garment industries, often in poorly ventilated and unsafe conditions. These children earn minimal wages, supporting families living under poverty. COVID-19 lockdown relaxations exacerbated risks by extending work hours and reducing inspections. Many children are trapped in this cycle due to limited access to education and poverty. Government efforts have reduced child labor numbers, but projections suggest millions will still be working by 2025, mainly in states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Maharashtra. The continuing impact of caste discrimination. Caste discrimination in India remains deeply ingrained, influencing employment, education, social interactions, and marriage choices. Even with constitutional bans, many from lower castes face systemic exclusion and bias in job recruitment and promotions, leading to economic and social marginalization. Social segregation persists with separate seating, water sources, and residential segregation in rural and some urban areas. Intercaste marriages often provoke violence and harassment, upheld by traditional norms and family pressures. Educational discrimination affects academic performance and aspirations of marginalized caste students. Politically, caste identity continues to guide voting patterns and party alignments, sometimes reinforcing divisions rather than unity. Pollution and its daily toll on health. India faces extremely hazardous air and water pollution, with many cities regularly exceeding safe pollutant levels by 10 to 15 times. This pollution causes widespread respiratory diseases, cardiovascular issues, and stunted lung development, especially in children. Water bodies, including major rivers, suffer from high levels of contamination, spreading waterborne illnesses, and endangering millions relying on these sources for drinking, bathing, and agriculture. Urban poor populations living near industrial zones bear the greatest health burdens, lacking resources for protection like air purifiers or clean water. Pollution also imposes significant economic costs through lost productivity, healthcare expenses, and premature deaths. Government measures, such as restricting vehicle use and factory operations during peak pollution, provide temporary relief, but no lasting solutions. Corruption and the hidden costs of bribery. Corruption in India permeates many layers of public life, resulting in widespread unofficial payments for basic government services such as licensing, documentation, and legal processes. Bribes, often multiple times higher than official fees, serve as a parallel taxation system that burdens citizens, especially the poor who may forego essential services rather than pay. Government employees, from clerks to police officers, commonly supplement salaries with bribe collections, creating incentives for abuse of power. Businesses incorporate bribery costs into their models, affecting international competitiveness. The judicial system suffers as unofficial payments influence case outcomes, and access to justice becomes unequal. The reality of India is complex and powerful, full of challenges, resilience, and hope. As we've seen, its people continuously adapt and strive for better lives amid hardship. Understanding their journey reminds us all of the strength and spirit that drive a nation forward. Thanks for watching.